Throughout the MCU's over 10-year tenure, Thor has had a lot of costumes. And from a narrative standpoint, I have to say, Thor's costume changes feel the least purposeful out of a lot of his Avengers friends. Iron Man is all about that suit. He's a tinkerer, so naturally his suits change and evolve over time. Captain America's literally a time traveler, so he's gonna update his suit. When it comes to Thor, though, you tend to think he's an Asgardian. Just pop on your Asgardian armor and out you go. But nevertheless, for a reason, Thor did change his costumes. And no, not just the obvious. Yeah, he does have some situational costumes among the bunch, but I think for the most part, Thor's costumes changed simply because the old ones didn't age all that well. So how kind has time been to the mighty Thor? In this video, I'll be ranking all 12 of Thor's hero costumes in the MCU, so sorry fans of Lebowski Thor, he's not gonna be on this list, just his Asgardian armors and such. But before we go proceeding with that, for those who don't know me already, hi, my name's Channel Pup. I sometimes rank Thor costumes, it seems, and this isn't my first rodeo here. But I also do other stuff, I swear, I'm just as fatigued by the MCU as you probably are. I do content on DC as well, also TV shows like Doctor Who, Gotham, and video games such as Sonic the Hedgehog and Klonoa. So if all that sounds good to you, and to be honest, why shouldn't it, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that I can inject this stuff directly into your corneas. And now you're addicted, so if you want a further fix and you want to go on to the hard stuff, that's over on Patreon. Look, I'm dirt poor and I'm a really nice guy, so please give me money. I really appreciate when people do that. In 12th place at the soggy bottom of this list is Avengers 2012's Thor costume. And no, this doesn't boil down to a hate boner for Joss Whedon or anything like that, although I can clarify I certainly do have one. Nah, this costume just hasn't aged all that well, and it's with the little touches that could have been done to make this age a whole lot better. I kinda like the design. It's nice and layered, it's a bit more colorful than its predecessor. There's some nice blue and red going on here, but I can't shake the fact that this doesn't feel like an Asgardian armor, which is what it is supposed to be. Nothing on this suit that is clearly meant to be like a metallic armor looks like a metallic armor. It all looks like foam and fabric. This just looks like the outfit I'd expect to see in like a TV movie or something, which is funny considering a lot of Avengers 2012 kind of looks like a TV movie. I mean, if you take the near flawless CGI out of the equation, that is. But it's safe to say that any merit this costume had was not done any favors by the highly digitized and very pale look of Avengers 2012. Yeah, no, unfortunately this suit is just very discordant with the kind of movie it was trying to be in. A lot of people clown Captain America's spandexy get-up in that film, but at least it looked like what it was supposed to be, whereas this here, yeah, it just doesn't look like anything. In 11th place, we have Ravager Thor from Thor Love and Thunder. Does this really count as a hero suit? Yeah, I'm counting it. He wore it in some big action set pieces. It got some of its own promo art, and it got an action figure, so hey, I'm counting it. Don't like that standard? Fine, make your own damn list. So Ravager Thor is, it's just a bit cringe, innit? Okay, no, but really, it's not a bad look. I think it just bottoms out that there's just a few aspects of this that just kind of rub me up the wrong way. The lower half of this is just pure comic book Thor, even down to his police tape boots, so it's a shame they pussed out for the top half. At the same time, I get it, he's kind of trying to ape the whole Star-Lord thing with this look. Also, dude, these are jeans. Why do they have MCU lines on them? Why would a pair of jeans need tech lines? That kind of epitomizes a growing trend in MCU costumes, doesn't it? I don't hate it, and I think I want to make clear there's not really a bad costume on this list, but there's enough here to just kind of rub me up the wrong way. And I guess as kind of a time delineator, I don't kind of vibe with where Thor was at character-wise here. In 10th place, we have the blue and gold armor, once again from Thor Love and Thunder. Now, you might be wondering, why did I put this above like the Avengers 2012 suit? Well, it's the simple fact that it at least doesn't look flimsy. It at least looks like what's made of metal is made of metal. It doesn't look like this thing's gonna flop around. At the same time, though, they have finally successfully made Thor's torso look like a freaking spaceship. I'm not sure if the blue and yellow color scheme was made as a nod to Thor's comic book look, but the placement of this stuff doesn't really feel all that purposeful either. It looks like 80s for the sake of 80s, and worst of all, this suit is just in this film for no reason, and the suit it replaces is so much better than this. Now, this suit also does come with a helmet for like 10 seconds, and not only is the design of that thing bad, it's also really badly composited on there. Yep, surprise, surprise, the helmet is a purely fully digital creation. And this is one of those rare instances where I could definitely immediately tell. Graphic design is my passion. In 9th place is Thor's Asgardian armor from Thor Ragnarok. So this is kind of a basic vanilla Thor look, but it's definitely like one of the weaker ones. And I don't really know why it's like this. I would expect Thor to be running around in this if he was like deemed unworthy or something. All those theatrics, all that regalia is just not present here, even down to the fact that the cape sits on his shoulders in a much less impressive way than it usually does. In a word, boring. In 8th place, we have the costume worn by Party Thor in What If. Now, I didn't want to include this because, I mean, like, there's a different criteria for animated designs than there is for live action ones, but I was fully intending on including Spider-Man's What If costume in the upcoming MCU Spider-Man costume ranking video, so it's only fair that Thor factors in. And this is your basic Thor Asgardian armor, kind of similar to the one we had in Thor 1, and it's got all of those frills and all that regalia that I would expect from a Thor costume. But because this Thor likes to party, they've kind of upped the ante a little bit on the color. This one is in blue and gold, except unlike Thor's costume in Love and Thunder, this one actually has a good reason to be blue and gold. This one actually has a good reason to look as kind of silly and garish as it does. It also helps that that blue and gold color scheme's a little bit muted here as well. Imagine that, a cartoon muting its colors compared to its live action counterpart. Sheesh. Marvel's What If was pretty lame and the Party Thor episode was no exception, but I gotta say the design work was overall on point. In 7th place, we have the costume from Thor's first MCU appearance in 2011. In spite of Chris Hemsworth's funny bleached eyebrows in this film, yeah, Thor did actually look pretty good. And yeah, I would absolutely say that this costume has aged a lot better than the 2012 Avengers costume for Thor. There's a nice layered look to the regalia, and yes, there's a lot of black on black here, but as I say, it serves a much more subtle look and creates a very comic booky appearance, especially with how nicely the ovals stand out on his chest. Also, bear in mind, this was their very first attempt at bringing this pretty out there character to life, and I think they nailed it. And unlike the 2012 version, the metal parts of this costume actually look like they're made of metal. It has since been surpassed, but I have to say this costume did a fantastic job at laying down the groundwork for how Thor would look in live action. In 6th place, we have Thor's Gladiator outfit from Thor Ragnarok. Now, this one's quite out there. This is not classic Thor by any stretch, but I have to say, I really love this look. They've built a new sort of look on top of that very bare bones look that Thor was sporting earlier in the film, which in, I guess, a sense does justify how plain Thor's Asgardian armor looked in this one, because if you stick stuff all over that, like gladiator armor and such, yeah, it's gonna look a bit weird and conflicting with all the Asgardian armor, so keeping it plainer, yeah, it paid off with this costume here. I also think the helmet on this one is a really nice homage to Thor's classic helmet, and I like that it fits him a little better than the 2011 version did. I just really dig the cobbled together nature of this one. The colors are just about right, so yeah, I gotta admit, this is kind of a home run. In 5th place is Thor's costume from Thor the Dark World, which does a really nice job at building on what worked about the Thor 2011 costume and making it a bit more warrior-like. I think this suit does a really good job at sort of balancing the regalia of Thor, the god of thunder, son of Odin, and the very warrior side to Thor. It looks a little more lived in, it looks a little more battle-worn. This suit also has some slightly sandy bronzed elements to it as well. Overall, this was a good evolution of Thor's design. In 4th place is Thor's costume from Avengers Age of Ultron. I almost bundled this costume and the Dark World together, but there's a slight difference, and that's that the sandy sort of goldy parts of the Dark World costume on this one are more silver. It's just a bit of a darker look overall, which I prefer. But other than that, there's not really any significant changes here. In 3rd place is Mighty Thor from Thor Love and Thunder. Sure, Donald Blake might have made some questionable wardrobe decisions in Thor Love and Thunder, but I gotta say Jane Foster nailed it. This suit is great. This is very much your traditional Thor look, but in girl, I guess. And a lot of the elements of that classic Thor look have been really nicely translated to the female form. But I also really appreciate the little burgundy accents on this costume. And they did a great job translating Mighty Thor's helmet to live action as well. While this film may feature the only appearance of Mighty Thor in the MCU, at least she came suitably dressed for the occasion. In 2nd place is Thor's Viking armor from Thor Love and Thunder. Man, Thor Love and Thunder. It was the best of costumes, it was the worst of costumes. But this costume here absolutely knocked it out of the park. They've kind of kept things simple, which was a complaint that I had about Ragnarok's Asgardian armor for Thor, but in this case they managed to make it look impressive and regal as well. The golden accents are nice, thin, and tasteful, and they really complement the simplistic look of this one. I love the texture of this suit, the dark black of Thor's vest, and the cape looks more impressive than ever with animal fur around the back of it. This is a suit fit for a Viking warrior, and it is such a shame this thing only appeared for like the best part of 2 minutes, only to be replaced with this McDonald's toy of a suit here. And in first place, we have Thor's suit from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. In a previous list, I did actually split the suits in two, but like, no, it's the exact same suit. It's just, you know, Thor is slim and short-haired in one movie, and a little podgy and long-haired in the other one. I gotta say though, this suit paired with the short-haired, trim physique Thor, a perfect reimagining of this iconic look. Thor is a man on a revenge quest in Infinity War, and this suit fits the bill perfectly. So this suit is definitely Thor's darkest look. The theatrics of the Thor costume are all there, but all in this very dark, layered way. This suit also permanently has its scaly sleeves down as well. I also love the dark collar around the neck as well, and the sort of puffy sort of sweater-like oversleeves just on the under part of the vest. This thing looks layered, and I love the way the discs on the torso glow when Thor's all lighteninged up. That's a terrible phrase, but I'm going with it. Thor in this film stripped back all of that sort of the smolder and charm of Thor and just broke him down to a man at his absolute angriest, and this suit fits the bill. It's not only my favorite appearance of Thor in the MCU, but also just my favorite costume to boot. And when this dude rocks up at the end of Infinity War for the final battle, if you don't get a boner over that, you're probably gay, dude. And also, while I've said that he looks his best in Infinity War, I gotta say, I do appreciate a pudgy Thor as well. It makes me feel represented. So, that's my list. You're not happy with it? Well, leave your list in the comments below. You happy with it? Well, still, leave your list in the comments below. Don't want to do that? Well, just leave something for me in the comments below. Jesus Christ. God, you're so damn lazy. I say, you've made it to the end of the video! Congrats. No, but seriously, thanks a bunch for watching. And just now, I'll be extending a special thanks to the patrons in the $10 tier, who are the amazing Adam Myers, the courageous Ken K, the legendary Ray Ray, the magnificent Mr. SP, and the super Sergio. What an amazing and generous bunch of people. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to join the ranks of these amazing people right here, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Guys, these are not the easiest times in the world financially, so every little bit you folks are donating is doing wonders. I really would love to be able to do YouTube as a proper fully fledged career someday. It might just be a pipe dream, but maybe you guys can prove some people wrong. But of course, if donations aren't your thing, then, well, it means plenty to me that you just hit that cute little subscribe button over there. I didn't mean hit that way. Well, that's me done for the day. Thanks a whole bunch for your support, and have a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you so soon.